Let's move on. The 76ers officially named Daryl Morey president of basketball operations and extended the contract of general manager Elton Brand today. Brand took over as the GM back in 2018 and has made some big moves since. Zach, smart move to extend Brand at this point?
I do think so. I will say it's been fashionable among Sixers fans to sort of absolve Elton for some of the moves that didn't work out. I don't know how powerful his voice was in some of those moves, but I don't think it's fair to just absolve him and say it wasn't him. That said, I think Elton is really sharp. And my favorite thing about Elton as a decision maker is, A, he's egoless and collaborative. He doesn't need to get credit for everything. It doesn't need to be his idea. He doesn't operate like that, and that's healthy. And number two, he's not going to approach this job like he's just trying to preserve his job. He made a lot of money as a player. He doesn't need this job. He's going to be a risk taker. He's going to be open to out-of-the-box big ideas. And I think when you get that kind of combination of thinking and that kind of combination of factors in a young, rising executive who played in the league, who's connected throughout the league, I think you absolutely keep that guy around. Elton, if he wants it, I think has a great future in the league.
I agree. I agree with everything you're saying, Zach. You're actually speaking the gospel today on this Monday afternoon because Elton Brand is beloved by everyone in the NBA. He has great relationships with current players, former players, general managers, and he's a player's GM. And also he's an aggressive GM. And you put him and Daryl Morey together, they go do wonders for the 76ers along with Doc Rivers. So I love that they extended Elton Brand, well-deserved, and I think him and Daryl Morey are going to work extremely well together.
So, look, the Sixers now have their front office and new head coach secured for the next couple of years. So now it's time to look at their roster. And here's what Morey's outlook on Joel Embiid was today. Let's take a listen.
When Joel is on the floor and healthy, and he's been in here twice a day for quite a while. He's very focused and motivated. This is an unbelievable defensive team. And the fact that he's also an extremely good offensive player, that's how Joel is the kind of player you win championships with if you look back through NBA history.
So, Perk, you heard Morey clearly state he believes he can win with Embiid. So what do you think this Philly team needs to do with their current personnel?
Well, I strongly believe they have to be aggressive during the draft and during this offseason. I think they will be aggressive. I see them moving a guy like Al Horford and getting off his contract and bringing in some type of shooting to build around Joel Embiid. Look, Joel Embiid in shape under Doc Rivers is my MVP candidate along with Anthony Davis. I think he's going to play at the highest potential we ever saw him, ever witnessed him play. But I strongly believe that they got to get rid of Al Horford contract. They're going to keep Tobias Harris. I believe Tobias Harris will fit well with Doc. You remember when he was with the Clippers, he played well, all-star level under Doc Rivers. So I expect them to be aggressive.
Daryl Morey is nothing if not aggressive, and I think he's already dispelled some of the misnomers about him. He only wants to shoot a million threes. He only wants to play this way or that way, and it doesn't fit Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Not true. What Daryl Morey really wants is stars. And in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, he has stars. Now, whether they are two super-duper stars, two top 5 players, top 10 players, top 15 players, whatever, that's TBD. But I don't think his first step is going to be, let's break up that partnership just because it hasn't fit optimally. I think Perk's exactly right. I think he's going to look at some of the supporting pieces like Al Horford and Tobias Harris and even Josh Richardson and say, is there any way we can get off some of these contracts, use some of the picks we have? They have 5 picks in the draft that's coming up this month, to sort of flip some of those guys for guys who fit better around Ben and Joel, and then take a year to see how it works.
Zach, I was listening to the Lowe Post podcast with you and Bill Simmons, a week or so ago, and talking about all sorts of different trade scenarios, including this particular team. But if you look at their roster, and we've all talked about this before, 2 or 3 seasons ago now, they had a lot of shooters around them. They had Bellinelli, they had Ilyasova, they had J.J. Redick. And as that shooting has gone away, the net rating has decreased between the 2 stars and the type of impact that they can have together. How do they try to cobble together these pieces that you said they're willing to part with and create that roster around them that will allow those 2 to flourish? Do you make moves knowing that you may have to give up something else in addition to get off some of those contracts to get what you would want in regards to spacing and things of that nature?
Absolutely. I think you're going to have to take some pain in getting off some of those contracts. That said, I think Al Horford has more value around the league than people might think. There are some teams who look at him as a really good veteran, a guy who was a little bit out of place last year in Philly and is better than how he looked and can stabilize our defense, stabilize us as a full-time center. And I think you look at trades where you send out Horford and you attach a pick, you attach something else. That's why maybe Josh Richardson has to be involved. I think he's still a really valuable player and has some interest around the league. Who knows what's going to happen? But Philly, yeah, they're not going to get a trade that's just a home run for them. That's not how it works. They're going to have to send some good stuff out to get some good stuff back in.
All I know is they need to keep Joel and Ben Simmons. Look, these are two studs. I hear a lot of rumors about maybe trading Ben Simmons. You're not going to get back what you have in this young stud. You need to keep it. Doc Rivers will find a way to make it work. Like Zach just said, Al Horford is the key. Al Horford with a pick, he has a lot of value. Teams are still high on Big Al. He still could play the game. He still is a stretch five that teams would love to have. So I would look at him, if I'm the Philadelphia 76ers, that they might be trying to move him, especially this offseason.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.